something that no one said before me. Dajjal sees with one eye, his left eye. His right eye is blind, it looks like a bulging grape, but your Lord is not one eye. Between his eyes, on his forehead, is written the word kafir, kafara. And every mu'min will be able to read it, so Abu Lahab can't read it. Oh, but Abu Lahab has eyes. How come Abu Lahab can't read, but Ali radiallahu ta'ala who can read? They both have a pair of eyes. How come he can read, but he can't read? Good question, eh? Every mu'min will be able to read it, kafir. Whether that mu'min is katib or ghayru katib, whether he's literate or illiterate, he could still read it. Now it's clear that the mu'min is not reading with these eyes. Do we have any other eyes beside these eyes? Do we have any other ears beside these ears? Do we have any other means of acquiring knowledge other than external observation and rational inquiry? Dajjal says no. And modern Western civilization created by Dajjal says no. This is a branch of knowledge. I'm going to use a big word now, but you can try to hold on to it and understand it. This is a branch of knowledge which is called epistemology. Epistemology. Don't forget it. It is that branch of knowledge which studies knowledge. Al-ilm al-ilm. What is knowledge? How is knowledge acquired? What are the sources of knowledge? This is epistemology. So Dajjal's epistemology is one eye. Knowledge comes only from external observation and rational inquiry. That, of course, is your university today. But the Quran declares something else. The Quran declares that in addition to our external eyes, we also have internal capacity to see. And if you do not see with the internal eye, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delivers a very, very powerful warning. What does he say about such people who are internally blind, like the government of the United States of America? What does he say about such people who are internally blind? Listen to what he says. لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. They have eyes, but they can't see. They have ears, but they can't hear. They have hearts, but they cannot understand. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. Such people are just like cattle. Even though he's a sheikh, and he has the hat, and the beard, and he has a PhD from Al-Azhar, and he quotes the Quran and the Hadith, and he has a mountain of knowledge. Yes, just like cattle. Even though he has a PhD from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, yes, still like cattle. Just like cattle. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. Such people are just like cattle. But Allah goes on to say more than that. He says, بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. No, they're worse than cattle. They're more misguided than cattle. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. The attack that was launched by modern Western civilization is an epistemological attack to get mankind to accept this lie that knowledge comes only from external observation and rational inquiry. If knowledge comes from any other source, it is not knowledge. It belongs to a place in Orlando called Disneyland. What happens? Of course, today it's called the scientific method. What happens when a people accept that knowledge comes only from external observation and rational inquiry? The answer is, listen carefully, the only world that we can know would be the world which we can observe. Since this material world is the only world we can observe, it follows that this material world is the only world which we can know. And then they throw dust in our eyes to come to the next conclusion. Since this is the only world which we can know, this is the only world which exists. Welcome to materialism. Since this is the only world we can know, this is the only world which exists. There is no world beyond this world. There is no reality beyond material reality. Everything which belongs to the unseen world now belongs to Disneyland. This is the attack on religion, on faith. The modern world now becomes known as, you've heard the word before, the secular world. I've heard people saying to me, well, you know, we did a little bit of religious education, a little bit of secular education. And by secular education, they mean, well, we went to study some physics and some chemistry and so on. That's secular education. And tafsir and hadith, that's religious education. No, brother, you don't understand the meaning of the word secular. What is secular? The opposite of secular is sacred. In order for something to become secular, you've got to take the sacred out of it. So in order for physics to become secular, you've got to take Allah out of it. Take the sacred out of it. That is secular. So once something becomes secular, it is now godless. The secular society is now the godless society. The secular world is now the godless world. This is materialism. This is the death of religion. Religion is now attacked. And the only part of religion which is now acceptable to the secular world is that part of religion which is observable. So the sacred heart of the deen, which is taqwa, the fear of Allah, that must now go.